Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. I'm back with another track guide for you. This time we're at Suzuka in Group 4 for the upcoming manufacturers race. Now this guide will hopefully be useful for daily races as well in the future. We're driving with default setup, BOP on and racing medium tyres for this guide. Now we did this on stream. I was at the end of the stream, so was finding it quite difficult to get the perfect lap in. There was definitely quite a little bit more time left in it, but I think the guide should still be able to help you out. It's currently, I think, in the top 50 in the world on the manufacturer's leaderboard, so hopefully it'll be a good enough lap to help you improve your time, help you find a little bit of time here and there. And yeah, luckily I'm in the Mercedes, and Mercedes actually looks like it's going to be a pretty strong car for a change at this combination. So not only over lap time, it also looks like it's going to be pretty good in terms of fuel saving for the race. So remember, this race is going to be a fuel saver using the hard tires and doing a no stop. That is the strategy for this one. So let's get on with the track guide and find you as much time as possible. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and let me know in the comments section if this guide has helped improve your lap, and you know, if so, how much. It really does. I really do enjoy reading them comments. So yeah, let's start this now. So going down into turn 1, we're going to be looking for the 50 board on the left hand side. Now you're going to brake just short of the 50 board, so as we slow it down here, you can see 50 board appears there, and you're going to brake a little bit short of it because we're in a low downforce car. Group 4 doesn't have the downforce to carry the speed through this corner, so make sure you brake before that 50 board. Now we're going to aim to get the right hand tyre close to the curb on the right hand side. You see that the Ghost in front of me actually hits the curb. That actually helps him rotate. I just skim it, and then we're going to try and use the full width for the track, take the car to the outside, and then swing it back into the next apex for the second part. So you really want to get the full use of the track width into this last part of this corner so you can get on the power nice and early. You can see we're on the power nice and early. Do not lift off that power, and then carrying your way into this really fast flowing section. This is all about carrying speed without being too aggressive. So you can see a little tiny dab of the brakes. That is purely just to get rotation onto the front of the car. So you see a little bit of weight transfer by using the brakes, and we're in fourth gear. And then just as you're in between the two corners here, you're going to do the same again. Just a tiny bit of braking input, not too aggressive. You see up to about 50%, and then that's rotating the car into this corner down to third gear. And now use the acceleration to rotate the car as you're coming into this left-hand corner. So you're swinging with the accelerator, getting the rear kicks out, and then getting it into this left-hand corner. And again, tiny bit of braking input again. You want to get your left-hand tyre to just almost go over that green bit of Astro, because you want to rotate it into this right-hand corner. Now, it's all about thinking of the next corner, this first group of corners that you come across. So again, tiny bit of braking input to get that weight on the front of the car. Try and get your right-hand tyre as close to the curb through this corner, pretty much all the way through. And now you're going to swing the car to the right-hand side to get the speed and momentum for the left-hand corner. So you see, watch the Ghost in front of me using the full track width. Actually does that really well, and it emphasizes what I'm talking about by using the full width of the track to rotate the car into this corner. You can see it also then doesn't lift off the throttle. I give it a little lift for safety reasons, because sometimes you can run wide there, so bear that in mind. You can do it flat, but it's a safer way just to give it a little bit of a lift off that throttle. Now into the next braking zone, braking in between the 100 and the 50 board for this corner here, a little bit closer to the 50 board, and that's to reduce the speed for this really fast right hand corner. But you can carry quite a lot of speed considering we're in a low downforce car. You can see around 100 miles per hour, hit the curb on the right hand side. You can get away with the curb with the SLS. I'm not too sure with some of the other cars, but it seems you can get away with it. And then onto the brakes, be quite early. As soon as the car's straightened up, you want to get on the brakes nice and early for this right hand corner, because you need to get that speed scrubbed off to carry the speed on the exit. So you see, use the right hand on the right hand side, that little bit of green Astro again, you can use that on your right hand tyre and try and get on the throttle as soon as possible. So you see, as soon as we're on that green bit of Astro, we're on that throttle nice and early, and then using the track width all the way now into the next braking zone. So this is the tricky hairpin. It's all about spotting that braking point. As soon as the car's in a straight line past that curb on the right hand side, we're onto the brakes, and we're going to brake in a straight line. Now, keep your eye on the Ghost in front of us. Look how late he's turning. He's really getting that car squared off. He wants to rotate the car, and that's the best way to do this corner. You want to get the car late on the brakes, keep it to the right-hand side, then square it off, and then get on the throttle as early as you can. See how early we're on the throttle there? Reasonably well done through there. We managed to get on the throttle quite early and carry quite a lot of speed now all the way up this hill. And that's why it's so important, because you've got to, the more speed you come out of that corner, the more speed you're carrying all the way up this hill, and then you're gaining time all the way into the next braking zone for Spoon Corner. So now we're going to look for the little bit of grey tarmac on the right hand side there. I brake just before that, and we're going to go down to fourth gear. And for this, you just kind of want to be nice and smooth on the input. So you're going to try and get your left hand tyre close to the curb on the left hand side and carry the speed through. You see left hand curb, tyre, just touching it there, staying in 4th gear, keep it smooth, a little bit of throttle back in, and then as soon as your car is going in a straight line, almost you're onto the brakes, because you want to be on the brakes early rather than late for this corner. It's really important to get this car as close to the curb as possible so you can get on the throttle. Look how early we're on the throttle. You want to be on that throttle super early, because the earlier you get on that throttle, the more speed you carry on this straight. And I was actually probably a little bit late on that throttle there. So yeah, that will then emphasize your speed gains all the way up this straight again. So again, the quicker you're on the throttle, the more time you're going to gain on this straight. Remember, that is so important. Now for the 130R, you can see as we're approaching just past the 50 board on the right side, we're going to just put a tiny bit of braking input in. Nothing massive, just a little bit of braking input to get that weight onto the front tyre, and then onto the throttle and try and carry speed. Now, I could have carried a few more miles per hour there, but you've got to be very careful you don't run wide. But one thing I will say is if you do run wide now, you don't get dirty tyres on that corner. Then braking in between the 200 and the 100 board there, just before the 100 board though. And now you're going to try and get your car rotated into this chicane. Now again, you can be quite aggressive on this chicane, just like you was on GT Sport. Look how much curb we take off here. You're going to get right hand tyre onto the green bit of Astro there, and you can jump over it. As long as you don't take too much off, you won't get a penalty. And again here, left hand tyre onto the green Astro again. You can definitely be aggressive on these curbs. Just be careful you don't take too much off, because it is slightly more sensitive than it was on Gran Turismo Sport, sorry. So yeah, you can do it, but just be a little bit more cautious than you was on the previous game. Over the line, 2 minutes 8.0, about 7 tenths off the optimal for this car. I think it is about 7.5 tenths off. So there is time to be gained. I think we could have got 3 tenths just by being a little bit more awake and alert when we did the lap. But overall, reasonably solid lap. Hopefully it will help you out and find you time. So let's watch that lap again from the chase camera, and you can see what we're talking about with trying to use the full width of the track. So into this turn 1, you can see full width of the track on entry, and then letting the car swing over. Look how close it was to the curb there. Now one thing is, make sure you don't get onto that curb, because if your tyre touches that curb, we all know what happens on Gran Turismo, you spin off. So be very, very cautious on turn 1, especially with these low downforce cars. And obviously in the race, you're going to be using the hard tyre, so you're going to have to be even more cautious through there. But it is a fuel saver, so you're not going to be going as aggressive anyway. So all the way through here, nice and smooth. Again, using that full track width, you can see what I'm talking about. The way we're swinging the car in to carry the speed through the fast corners, it really does make the momentum carry on, and you can just see the gains on the straights as well. So through here, you can see how much more we use the curb, a lot more than what we would in Group 3, because the Group 4 car seems to ride them curbs a lot better than the Group 3 cars. And now we're going to work our way into that hairpin, and this is all about braking as late as you can without braking too late, so that you can get a good exit off the corner. So you see we managed to square that off quite nicely, clip the apex on the curb, that's quite nice, use the full width on the exit, and actually did that reasonably smoothly. So not too bad through there, and then that should give us gains all the way up this hill. So like I say, the exit speeds on this track are very important, because you're carrying that speed all the way up the hill, and you're going to gain time on acceleration. Then through here, you can see through Spoon Corner, using the curb on the left, use the curb on the right, swing it in, and this is what you want to get that car to road. Just clip the curb on the left hand side and then get on that power super early. And that again is all about carrying the speed all the way up this long straight and uphill section. Again, you can gain 2 tenths by just getting a good exit off that corner. Now through 130R, you can see I was probably a little bit too cautious here, because I didn't want to wreck my lap. I probably put a bit too much braking input in. There was a bit of space left on the curb, but again, we're talking a couple of miles per hour. It's nothing too drastic. Now through here, you can see just how much we take off the curb and how much we get away with. It really does emphasize it on the chase camera, just how much you can do. So make sure you're utilizing that in qualifying, because you can gain a good tenth or two if you get that right. And over the line, 2 minutes 8.0. Hopefully that lap will help you out. Let me know in the comments if it does. I'll be back with more track guides and highlights videos and live streams soon. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.